I see the splash page.
Perfect. That's where we want to be. So, welcome, folks. My name is Deborah Gallant. I am with Entrepreneurs Forever, which is a terrific organization that supports small business. The program you're joining today is one of our monthly deep dives where I try to suss out kind of what people are talking about and thinking about and need to know more about in small business and bring you an expert who can share that information with you and hopefully a way that makes sense to you. We have a whole library of these programs, so if you haven't checked them out before, I encourage you to do so. This month, I have James Stokes well, he has a couple of businesses, but On3 is his business, and he's a member of one of our Entrepreneurs Forever groups. And he's going to be presenting about keeping your data safe. Now, no matter how big or small your business is, you have data that is vulnerable. And I heard a horror story just within the last couple of weeks about a company in the UK that helped run preschools, and they were hacked. And the private information of children, including their photographs and their parents' information, was being held hostage. And it's just awful what those bad actors will do. So, no matter how small and insignificant and you think off the radar your business is, it's not. And somebody could hack you, and there's some things you can do to protect yourself. The format of our program, as always, is a presentation with clarifying questions. James will be happy to make sure we all understand what he's talking about as he goes along. And at the end, we'll do a whole half hour of Q&A, which will not be recorded. So we are recording this part, and it'll be available for people to replay. And we also are bringing in a special guest. James has invited a colleague of his to talk about what a managed services company might be able to do for you. And I assure you, as always, Entrepreneurs Forever presentations are meant to be informative. We're not here to sell you anything. We're here to help you run a better business and understand, if you wanted to purchase assistance, what that might look like. The other thing I want to say before we even get started into this topic is, if you think I have cyber insurance, so none of this matters, couldn't be more wrong, because cyber insurance won't cover you if you haven't taken some of the basic precautions to protect your data. Because it's like your home insurance company going, let me think. You put a big sign in the front of your house that goes, "This house is unlocked. Please come rob me." So they're not going to cover you for that. And your cyber insurance isn't going to help you if you haven't taken basic precautions. And James will go into that in great detail. So I'm going to just get us queued up. And this is a topic you're going to hear me be as dumb as a post about. I don't know anything about it. I'm going to make sure that James translates it and his partner Andy translates it into stuff that we can understand. So I'm just going to remind you, we record this up to the open discussion, and then you'll be able to ask your questions without worrying about it being recorded. So I think it would be helpful to James and Andy if you wanted to type into the chat area what your business name is and what your business is, so that they'll understand a little bit more and maybe be able to target their conversation. For those of you who might not know, Entrepreneurs Forever has as their mission to empower all small business owners to grow thriving businesses that sustain their families and support their communities. We do that mainly through peer support groups. James, which group are you in?
Swissville, I believe.
Swissvale. And how long have you been a member of the group?
I think it'll be 2 years.
That's fantastic. Well, if you're not already a member, you should learn more about it. The next program after this one, and the reason I explain it now is because if I wait till the end, I always forget, is a really important one called Growing Past Solo. So we're going to have a bunch of members who were very happy solo entrepreneurs, and they took that big leap to no longer be alone in their business, to grow their business by hiring employees. It's not about the mechanics of it and getting payroll services. It's about, how do you make that tough decision that you don't want to do it all yourself anymore and you're willing to bring people on. So it's going to be a good one, a panel discussion. Today, the topic is data security. James is going to take the helm in a minute and present. But let me say that I think that this is a topic that you might think, oh, it doesn't apply to me. It applies to everyone. And I know some people are watching it live and some people are watching the recording, but good for you for being here. And James, you've seen some of the folks who are in here. We have a mobile workshop. We have a tax consultant. Chris has a frame gallery. I know Sandra is a consultant. So you have quite a few different kinds of businesses here. And welcome Andy, who is there as Wiazrd Ravensword. Hi, Andy. And James, you're on.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Deborah, and thanks for this opportunity. So, cybersecurity is very complex. I don't know that anyone's an expert, but we're trying to to solve, keep you safer. I don't know that there's such a thing as safe. I mean, Google got hacked last month. I don't know that we're going to implement anything special for you that Google hasn't. But one of the things we are trying to do is develop an AI generated customized cybersecurity training curriculum for you and your staff as you grow. Also updating it with the latest threats and everything. So we have one of the things we're looking to do is 1 second is share or do it through video. So I'm going to play a quick video for you all, and hopefully.
Imagine your company as a majestic castle, safeguarding its valuable treasures, your critical data and systems. The castle's towering walls and sturdy gates act as robust firewalls and antivirus software, keeping cyber adversaries at bay. Patrolling the grounds, the diligent IT staff are like keen-eyed guards, always alert for any suspicious activity. The keys to the kingdom symbolize your passwords and access permissions. If these are weak, compromised, or fall into the wrong hands, digital intruders can easily infiltrate your defenses. Just as castles face threats from covert intruders posing as friendly merchants, so too can your company be tricked by phishing emails into granting access to unwelcome guests. Aging castles often had hidden tunnels, equivalent to unpatched software vulnerabilities that hackers are eager to exploit. And much like a castle under siege, your systems can be overwhelmed by DDoS attacks, a relentless barrage designed to cripple your defenses. Worst of all is the threat from within, akin to a traitor opening the gates. Insider threats can be devastating, making vigilance and internal security crucial. Just as castles employ double locks and rigorous inspections, your company relies on multi-factor authentication and continuous monitoring to protect its treasures. Ultimately, even the strongest defenses depend on the people within. Cultivate awareness and nurture good habits among your team, for these are, indeed, your most formidable shields.
So that's one of our first takes at it. We got some other things we're doing. If you stick around to the end, I'll show you to see if you're interested. So
While James is pulling up his deck for the formal presentation, let me let you all know that I just shared the document that's a handout. It's actually a very light handout. It's meant to help you guide your notes as you talk. It sort of goes in hand with the presentation. It does not include the stuff that Andy is going to talk about. So there might be a separate handout we'll send you about that. So you're on, James.
So once again, I'm James Stokes with On3. We do cybersecurity, AI agents, and recruiting. We specialize really in black box assessments. So we attack your existing infrastructure to make sure it's protecting you the way you want. All right. Cybersecurity is all about continuous management of risk. There's new things coming out every day. Keeping your team educated and informed. Using the next gen software is kind of like letting the AIs combat each other. But loss of revenue, critical client, employee data, it's no longer theoretical. It's a true business risk. So one of the factors in that is the power of AI. you've all seen the power of AI, how it's making you stronger, you better. Well, it's doing the same thing for the bad actors. There are companies out there producing AI modules to do the hacking for them that you can buy on the deep dark web and start hacking other people. So the AI is helping bad actors um, become more profitable. Low, they look for low risk, low barriers, right? And it costs them no really extra effort to push that button to attack small to medium business. So, kind of what do we recommend for your minimum protection is first understand what are your crown jewels. Are they customers' credit card information? Are they my employee's social security number? Is it my manufacturing operations? Does Coca-Cola have their secret formula on the internet? Probably not. Second step is identify, once you've figured out your crown jewels, how much they're worth, what is the optimal technical solution to protect this? You know, then once you have that technical solution in case you want to validate it, does it do what I expect it to do? And then I always recommend, this is the most important step, prepare for the worst. Pretend you're ransomware. What are you going to do? Usually the best defense is wipe out your instance and reinstall it. And we'll get into that a little deeper. So data can mean many things, and you also have to take into account when you're protecting your crown jewels, are there any regulatory requirements? If I'm doing medical data, I have to follow HIPAA. If I'm doing customer credit card information, I need PII. So you really need to figure out what are your crown jewels.
James, let me just pause there and ask a question that I know is true for many of us. We use a third-party credit card processor, so we're never actually touching the credit card. Are we at risk on that, or as long as Square or whoever, Stripe, whoever's using it is PCI compliant, we're okay?
You should be okay. I mean, I can never tell you you're safe because lawyers have creative ways of suing everybody along the chain if something could happen. But chances are you should be safe if you're using a third-party provider. Andy
Great.
could probably speak better to that than I. Andy, do you have any feedback on that?
I'm not 100% familiar with it, but I do think the PCI compliance, it depends on the transmission and storage. So I believe with the third-party apps, like if they're giving the credit card over the phone, as long as whenever you get out of the credit card number field, it turns into stars and it only shows like the last 4 digits, and it doesn't actually store that information on your network, then I believe that is compliant. It's just as long as you're not actually like saving their credit card number where it can be retrieved. So.
Okay.
And you'll notice that with a lot of companies, right? You want us to save your credit card number on top. Well, that could either be if they're local storage, in which case they need to be PCI compliant, or they're outsourcing it and they do. But once again, you're only strong as your weakest link. And can you get sued because someone in your supply chain called it? Quite possible. So if you're not big enough or don't have your own security operations centers full of technical people with big propellers to fight off cybersecurity, there are a lot of MSSPs, which stand for Managed Security Service Providers. A lot of these people have evolved from just a managed service provider, which provided desktop support, keeping your servers upgraded for patches. I don't know if you've ever been exposed to any of those. Then once you, like I said, you get that in place, get a third party or do it yourself, some type of black, white, gray hat vulnerability testing to make sure that the defenses you put in place, one of the things is, 80%, there's low hanging fruit, 80%. Make sure those 80% are covered, please, right? As I like to say, we like to keep out the punks, drunks, and honest people. And then, of course, my step 4 is a breach, right? If you get breached, do you have a Bitcoin to send? Do you have anything like this? Probably not. So something called an immutable backup, which is air gap. So maybe download it to a flash drive, keep it in your house or safe deposit box every day, every week, every month. It depends on how much data you have, how critical it is. But like I said, probably one of the best defenses to ransomware is to wipe out your instance and then begin and then reinstall it and go. Just kind of minimums things, make sure you have some type of next gen, whether it's through an MSSP or through yourself, secure tested backups for the emergency, and keep yourself and your employees updated on the secure tactics, phishing tactics. Just try to keep them out of your castle.
Wait, can you go back and tell me what the authenticators are? What's an authenticator app and how do I use it?
Such as a password app.
Right here on next gen technology monitoring best practices, you said use an authenticator app.
Yeah, those are like the password storage apps on your PC. I actually use it. There's also password vaults out there, third parties. There's a new one, PIEG, some type of password. I'm not sure what the acronym stands for, but passwords are a big problem. Even multi-factor authentication can be duplicated by bad actors. It's remaining to be a challenge, and there's new evolutions in it. But the Google Authenticator, I believe, or the Microsoft is where they save your passwords and manage your password.
Thank you.
So if you're just running your business from your laptop, make sure you have a good antivirus, right? If you do have a network, make sure that you're updating your patches, that you have someone in monitoring that, looking for suspicious activity. Use multi-factor authentication, change your passwords often. One of the big things I'm a believer in is what they call, you've heard the term zero trust, I'm sure everywhere, but that's a principle of least privilege, right? If I am just doing billing, I shouldn't have access to my manufacturing inventory. So if someone steals my credential, they can't get to other things, right? Only what I need to do to get my job done. Then make sure technology, AI fighting AI. AI is becoming so smart. I actually attended, we're from Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Human Resources Association had a golf and bocce outing. It was an event. When we all got home, we had a suspicious email in our box, right? And we looked at it and we all love the president. We're all excited. We just came from the event. Well, my spidey sense went off. I triple checked anything, but I knew I was safe, so I double clicked it, and it was a phishing. They also intercepted her email and were sending back because people were going, "Hey, this is suspicious. Should I open it?" She's like, "Yes, it's fine." So AI engines are now searching for events. So when you come home from an event and you're all excited, if you see something suspicious, beware. And the planning, I can't emphasize this once again enough. Doing the vulnerability assessments, having multi-factor authentication, you have to talk to your cyber security insurance provider to see what they do. Some have more, some have less. As one cyber insurance individual told me, it's not in my best interest for you to be safe because then I can't charge that much premium. So, work with them, try to find out what you can implement, and you're going to have to do continuous monitoring of it to get them done. So some just quick, low cautionable action. If as you're growing, if you don't have a cybersecurity team, consider outsourcing to an MSSP. They're like a fractional security provider. They'll take care of your servers, updating your patches. Could even be endpoint, actually desktop support depending on physical location. Using a single cloud provider, but once again, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and you're putting your hands into someone else. So once again, I'm James Stokes. We do focus really right now on black box cybersecurity assessments, making sure that what you have protects you. And with that, I wanted to turn it over to Andy Ravensword, who will talk about about the benefits of using an MSS.
All right, so James, that was really fast. And so what I'm going to say is let's let Andy do his presentation, but I think I might want to come back and do your 1, 2, and 3 and go through them point by point before we go to the questions, because there was a lot of information in there that I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to really ruminate on, and then we'll go to the questions. But Andy, you can go next.
Okay, great. All right, let me see. How do we share?
The little green screen at the bottom with an up arrow.
Yeah.
Share screen.
Go.
Sorry, I talk fast.
You know what you're talking about, and it's like whoosh, whizzed right by us.
Well, and that's, I mean, it's drinking from the fire hose, so it's going to take some iterations. I have no problem going back.
Okay. Can you see
We
just
see it. You
the
just want to view
presentation?
slideshow.
Okay, great. I've never done a PowerPoint before, actually, over a Zoom, so this is all new for me.
So you have to go to the PowerPoint itself after you share the screen and run it from there. So go ahead
See
and
where it
start
says
the,
view up at the top? You want to do view slideshow
View
or
of the,
slideshow, I think.
okay. Okay, let me see here.
That's so funny. He's like a tech whiz and he doesn't know how to do PowerPoint. We all get it.
he's
Yeah,
also a
I
Microsoft guy.
have not done PowerPoint in a long time. Okay, I think that this is the right one.
All right,
It's
but
select
you
the
stopped sharing, so
slideshow.
here we go.
Yeah. All right, is that
Yeah, we're seeing
that's
it.
the slideshow
Perfect.
now? Okay, great. All right, perfect.
Do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, so my name is Andrew, Wizard Andrew Ravensword. You can call me Wizard or Andy. Um, and I'm the Chief Executive Wizard at Wiazrd IT. Um, Tonight I'll kind of share like a high level overview of managed security services. It's definitely a bit of an overlap of what James has gone over already. Um, and we're kind of going to cover what some of these solutions are, why they matter, how they help businesses like yours stay resilient in today's digital world that's always changing and honestly getting way more dangerous every day. So my goal is to help you understand the practical benefits of these solutions so that you can make informed decisions about your own IT and security to protect your businesses. So this next slide here. So what we'd like to do is more of a layered IT security approach. So starting with the basics, security is not just about the technology, it is about more protecting people and your assets as well. So our approach layers multiple defenses such as device security, making sure that your devices are encrypted, patch management with regular updates, password management is a very big thing these days as well. Especially if you have multiple employees, it's great to have a password manager where you can share like departmental logins. Like people in the finance department can only access, they have like the PNC logins that are shared. And then if somebody is let go in the finance department, they know to rotate that password. So that's a really big one that's going on these days as well. Email filtering, making sure that multi-factor authentication is in place, and also some ongoing cybersecurity training is kind of the fundamental basis of a layered approach. You could always stack and keep stacking your IT security solutions.
Andy, is there a minimum size a company needs to be to employ an MSSP?
No, actually, we do have some clients that are just sole proprietor LLCs, just one person. Our largest client is about 50 users. So yeah, we'll work with anybody. However, a lot of the competitors in Pittsburgh, most of them do have like a 5, 10, 20 user minimum. But yeah, we'll work with anybody.
So if anybody's thinking that they might want to hire a company, it's certainly you'd want to start with understanding who they'll work with and what's involved for an organization your size. Okay, you can move on.
Absolutely. Um, so, so with the layered approach, this means that your business is protected from threats like the phishing and impersonation, as well as if you receive a malicious PDF in your email, email filtering will sort all that out and make sure it doesn't go to your inbox or the CEO's inbox and cause any problems. Um, and also being informed and aware about how these systems are adapting as new risks emerge as well. So what this means for you is you can focus more on your business, knowing that your technology is quietly working in the background to keep you safe. I'm going to touch a little bit more on email security. Uh, Email is definitely the most common way that attackers and hackers are targeting organizations these days. We see it all over the news. Um, to be honest, I get about 1,000 emails a day, and I would say that a good 100 are all spam emails, scam emails. Not spam, but actual scams. So, um, so we use advanced filtering tools to block spam, phishing. There's a lot of spoofing out there where they say it's the CEO, but it's some random Gmail address, and they're asking HR to update their direct deposit information. And if they aren't aware of that type of tactic, then that person doesn't get their paycheck, and it's very hard to reverse that. Um, so yeah, phishing impersonation, uh, and um, and also the ability to send and receive encrypted emails too. So if you're, for example, if you're sending out your tax return, it will automatically see that your social security number is in that PDF and automatically encrypt that. Uh, and the encrypted mailbox, it only stays in there for like 30 days. Um, and that's a really great way to protect your
Is
information.
that installed as a basic thing in people's emails, like, Microsoft Office 365 and under Gmail, which probably most people are using?
I know with Office 365, it doesn't come automatically out of the box, but you can configure it. You can configure it within Office 365 without having a third party tool. Um, but in my opinion, it's a little more clunky. But yeah, it is possible to do that. I'm not 100% sure about Google Workspace though. Okay. Um, yeah, and you can also, not just financial data, it'll also do HIPAA type of records, credit card information. It'll automatically encrypt all that data as well. Well, you can have it automatically do it, or you can just put encrypt in the subject line, or you could press a button in Outlook to do the encryption as well.
So when do I have to think about encrypting an email? Whenever it has information in it that I don't want other people to see?
Yeah. I think the most common thing is probably financial information, especially like tax returns, bank statements, and stuff like that. That's kind of like a sensitive
Yeah,
information.
I know that it comes from my accountant encrypted, but I probably send stuff to her unencrypted, and that's bad.
Yeah, it's not recommended to do that.
Okay. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if somebody were to hack your CPA, and it's not in an encrypted mailbox, like your records are there for them to take. So, um, okay. Also, keeping track of the analytics and the monitoring of all these threats lets us help like spot these things early. Um, uh, in our platform, we've actually been able to kind of create custom code as well that will like pick up on the trends that we're seeing. So right now we're seeing a lot of QuickBooks scams right now. Like it says it's a voicemail or says it's a DocuSign, but it's actually coming from like a legitimate QuickBooks email address. So the hackers are getting smart and signing up for QuickBooks and making those emails scams pretty much. So we've been able to create our own custom code to catch that stuff, but also make sure that real QuickBooks stuff comes through. So that's been a big advantage as well that we're seeing. So what that means is your team can communicate confidently, knowing that their inbox is protected and the sensitive data stays private. And James did touch a little bit on endpoint detection and antivirus. There is a pretty big differentiator that I want to mention about the difference between a typical antivirus compared to an EDR. So an EDR is endpoint detection and response. So the traditional antiviruses, they're what they call like file based. So it's like a database of like what they know is bad. Whereas an EDR, it has that as well, but the EDR is actually watching everything that's going on your computer. And whenever a ransomware hit happens, we've actually seen it with clients in the past. They'll download a file and it kind of has like a ticking time bomb to it. So 2 hours later, after they downloaded that, all of a sudden the EDR will see that it's doing all these random things like executing code and trying to encrypt something, and the EDR will actually stop it immediately. It'll just completely kill it. So the EDR is much more advanced.
So when you buy a new computer, it comes usually with Avast or McAfee or
Norton,
one of those, right?
yeah. Yeah.
And you're laughing because those aren't good enough, right?
No, they're not. Those are usually definition based. That's what they call it. That's kind of the database of antivirus definitions. It's not exactly an EDR. Um, some, I think that if you do pay for a full one, it might offer an EDR. It's usually a little bit more expensive.
So the same company sells an EDR, or are there different suppliers of EDRs?
There's many companies that are doing EDR. We use SentinelOne. They're one of the top rated in the world. ThreatLocker's pretty awesome as well, but there's lots of different options and flavors.
There are literally hundreds of them, and some of them also specialize by industry, right? You may have an EDR really made for the healthcare system or the financial system, where they've created more
Yeah.
AI knowledge. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of a UFO DAP, but basically it's that definition where it's watching the sky and it knows where the satellites going, where planes are going, and stars and everything else. But if something happens that it doesn't know, it's when it generates an alert. Some of these EDR systems are the same way, right? They watch your network, and if anything anomaly happens, they're like, "Whoa, quarantine it, notify someone. Why is this happening?"
All right, so
Yeah.
if I work with a firm like yours, Andy,
hmm
you guys have installed that on my network and see, you're finding UFOs for me. If I don't think I'm big enough and I'm solo and I'm working off one laptop and one phone, it still may be worth investigating having an EDR installed on my own computer because it's that next level of protection, bigger than the Avast or the McAfee or the whatever antivirus that can't
Yeah.
installed on my computer. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. The advantage of having somebody like us on the back end. So for example, if something does happen on your machine and your ransomware starts running and it catches that, it will automatically block your computer from accessing the internet. It will completely kill your network. So it doesn't spread to other devices on the network because it can do that. But it does maintain a connection, a single tunnel to the management portal. So whenever that happens, we're able to log into that portal, see exactly what it was doing, and we're able to tell the computer to roll back to before it started. And then once we verify that it was completely rolled back successfully, the threat was mitigated, the file has been completely removed from the system, and then there's no longer a threat, we're able to press a button and reconnect it to the network as well.
That's fantastic. Okay.
What company are you from? Because I think my phone was hacked. I just bought a new phone like for last week, and it was working fine until like this morning. And now I'm keep getting these messages saying that my phone has been hacked and I need to install some kind of um
Loretta, can you hold on to that till the Q&A when we're not recording it, and then maybe they can help you troubleshoot it?
sounds good to me. I just wanted to get that in because it's like, oh, I got this meeting today. Maybe they can help. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I've seen before as well.
You seen that before?
I've heard of it happening, but yeah,
All right, we'll get to
we'll
you
touch on that.
in the last half hour. I also have a
I'm good.
horror story about being hacked on Facebook and double
Okay.
factor authentication and all the rest, but we're not going there right now. We're going to let Andy finish his presentation and then we'll get there.
I'm
All right,
trying.
no problem. Yeah, and another thing about the EDR is they call it behavioral analysis. So like that's why it's actually seeing that something is going on that it shouldn't be doing. So it stops the ransomware and any other threats before it causes the harm. Yeah, I touched on the fact that we can go back to the pre-infection state. So, you know, the benefits of having the EDR is that your business stays productive, even if a cyber attack does occur, because recovery is fast and the disruption is minimal as well. Because if you think about it as the other side of that coin, if you didn't have an EDR, all of your files are encrypted, they're inaccessible, they want you to pay Bitcoin to unlock them. And then if you don't have a good backup strategy in place, that data is completely gone. You have to wipe your computer. So that's the other kind of the risk to be aware of as well. All right. So working with a company like ours, we can work with the larger companies that already have an IT department in place already. But we're also there for the smaller companies as like an outsourced IT department. We can help with anything IT. We give free advice. So if you ever have a question about like what's the best way to do something IT wise, that's what we're here. We're all about relationships and making sure that everybody's protected. And we can also assist with establishing those security policies that James has touched on a little bit as well, like bring your own device policies, information security policies, kind of like think about your HR integration with IT, because IT and HR should really be a cohesive unit, and they should talk to each other and work together to make sure that these things are in place. And we are able to do regular audits and do automated simulated phishing tests. So we're actually able to send phishing emails from our system and see if somebody had actually clicked on that link, if they entered their Office 365 email and password, and then if they do happen to do that, then they're required to do another layer of training. And usually with the security awareness trainings, it's just one video. It's 45 minutes, I believe. That's just required to do once a year, so that they get the knowledge that they need to know and what they're looking out for in those dangers. Um, so yeah, working with an IT company like ours, you would get expert support that's able to help you solve your problems faster, stay compliant, and be able to focus on what matters most, which is, what your passion is in your business.
Yeah, I would also, for any employees, enforce the education aspect. This is not about just compliance and ticking off CPE credits. This is about truly understanding what's going on out there to keep our whole castle safe.
Absolutely. Okay. Um, so yeah, technology should be there to really empower your team, not slow it down. So we offer comprehensive support. We are always available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We can do after hours if we have to. But the whole point is to build that relationship and trust with our clients, to be there whenever things do happen or if they need anything. Um, and that could be, having access to our help desk, being able to create tickets or just pick up the phone and give us a call. We also provide easy to follow how-to guides, and I also mentioned the integration with HR. So we can also help with onboarding and offboarding processes as well. Um, and we also tailor some of our documentation and processes to your business. So we have like a general template, but we also line it up specifically for your company to meet your needs. So, um, so we're always there so that your employees have fast, friendly help, so that technology never gets in the way of your business goals.
And your crown jewels have that customized protection that they need.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Let's see here, next slide. Hybrid workforce security. Uh, so we hear a lot of the buzzwords, like, being able to be hybrid and not having to like be in the office to access your files and your data. So there's a lot more flexibility out there than there ever has been before. However, there is some significant risk to that. So we can help migrate any resources that are only available while you're in the office, and we can make those available in the cloud. Office 365 is absolutely amazing for that, especially for smaller businesses. But with the larger businesses, you see like they have, big servers or file servers and stuff like that. So we're also able to integrate access using VPN clients and stuff like that, so we can make sure that the people are able to access what they need to do their jobs, but do it securely over a VPN, and even being able to integrate multi-factor authentication with that login as well. So that way, your team can securely work from anywhere. Endpoint management. and integrated communication platforms really do keep everyone connected and protected these days. So whether your team is in the office or remote, everyone has secure access to the tools and data they need, which keeps productivity high and minimizes your risks. Okay. On this slide here, we have what we call VCIO, Virtual CIO Services. So basically, that's just another way of saying that we are always there as a strategic partner to line everything up with your company from an IT guidance standpoint. And it's not every business like needs a full-time CIO or CTO, but every business does deserve strategic IT guidance. So our VCIO services, we do executive level consulting, IT budgeting, strategic planning, cybersecurity protocols, implementations like that, and just making sure that they're aligning technology with the business goals. Because when you think about it, how much technology do you rely on in your business? You know, pretty much everything all day, right? So yeah, we're always there to build that strategic partnership. And another aspect of this is being able to work with your vendors as well. So like if you have Comcast, for example, through your phone system and your internet, we can help you and work with those vendors, or even find a better deal, like go with Zoom phone system instead, as an example. I've also always like kind of prided ourselves on our ability to kind of do like a cost benefit analysis, especially with IT spend. So yeah, we just kind of look at the entire big picture of your business and say, you know, there's better ways to do things and keep you protected. And also, if we can save money, that's even better.
Andy, I want to let you finish your last few slides, but it feels to me like for some of the micro kinds of businesses that we work with, that this might be the kind of thing where what you need is sort of a consultant at some point to help you, you know, get some of this stuff done without maybe an ongoing managed support service. But the thing where I think there's really a stress point is the help me, I have been hacked, what next? Now, in some cases, it's probably too late, right? The cow left the barn. But can you help somebody who has clearly been the victim of some cyber threat?
We could try our best. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can add on to this too, because we actually
Yeah.
have a team respond to it. It's best, which is why I was articulating having that backup so you can wipe out the instance store, right? If you're doing it after the fact, it really depends on how deep they infiltrated, how long, what. So there's no silver bullet. This is a many to many relationship. I mean, even we have customers that have automated manufacturing lines to communicate through IoT. That all needs to be cybersecurity assessed and protected. There's many different ways of doing that, but hackers can get through a manufacturing device into your whole network as well. So, you know, one of the challenges of presenting cybersecurity is it's vast, and there's so many combinations depending on what industry, what your data is, which is why, you know, I recommend talking to someone like Andy, or if you're in your manufacturing, we have other people to talk to get that expert advice, right? What are my crown jewels? How much are they worth? What's, you know, if they get stolen, what's the worst case scenario? What's the best technological solution to protect them for me? And then what do I do if I get attacked? And there are teams that specialize. Forensics will go through. We actually had a client open a port to run a test, and they got through that port and ransomware and shut down their whole network. We've actually spent the past 3 days doing the whole group, or 3 months, just continually asking questions: why, how, to prevent these things from happening in the future. I mean, what an odd thing, just opening a port for 5 minutes for a test, and it led to a ransom.
All right, so Andy, why don't you finish up, and then I want to circle back to James for some top tips. So
Okay, yeah, I just have one more, and that's it. So, yeah, yeah. So I think we covered all of that one there. Yeah. So if you'd like to reach out, no pressure. We're always here to build relationships, get to know people, and yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed the presentation, and thank you all for your time and attention.
and Andy's contact info is on the handout as well. So don't go anywhere, Andy, because we want you to answer questions. James, I don't know if you want to come back to sharing screen or we just want to talk, but I would love, before we go to questions and troubleshooting Loretta's problem or other issues people have, are there a couple of like top tips, whether it's changing your password, whether it's making sure you have an antivirus, is it changing the password on your network that the cable people installed? What are some of the, like, what can I do right now to make things safer?
The biggest thing, and once again, it depends on what your industry is, what your size is, how many people you're dealing with, what your supply chain is, right? Because you could have a vendor in a supply chain infiltrate you through your supply chain. So once again, it's a case by case advice. But if you have client data stored on your laptop and you're a solo entrepreneur, talking to Andy about getting an endpoint detection response. It depends on how valuable those. What's the penalty if those things get cyber hacked? What's going to be your ramification? So if it's a severe penalty, the more you want to invest in protecting that, making sure you have immutable backups, etc. If you're bigger with a network and you may have 3 offices and 20 employees, well, then that's a whole different assessment. And you got to worry about emails. You got to worry about a whole bunch of other things. Not only is there ransomware, there's spyware, right? Where they just grab your documents. And that's another thing. One of these endpoint detection response is one. Why is Deborah mailing all these documents to Russia all of a sudden? She's never dealt with them before. Why is this happening? So
I don't know anyone in Russia.
For small businesses, I would recommend talking with someone like Andy and seeing what their assessment is, or but minimum antivirus on your computer. I would recommend something a little more potent than Norton or McAfee. If you are running critical data on your laptop or network, minimum some type of EDR system. There's hundreds out there. But if you're not going to maintain it yourself, find the MSSP you like that fits your industry and embrace whatever they have, because they've mastered that tool. But even at the end of the day, whatever you implement, have someone else validate it.
Do I need to worry if I run my business on a phone?
That's an interesting question. I don't have great answers to that yet. We've talked to a few innovative people that have run phone. They're creating phone assessments to see if they're hacked, right? We're all getting the text emails. Hey, I lost my contacts. Who's this again? And we're getting these spam text messages now. Is someone watching your phone? Unfortunately, I haven't found the best technology to keep that secure yet. Andy, do you know of anything that really does that?
Phones are a little bit complicated. It's very hard to know if anything is happening on the phone. It does take quite a deep dive. So yeah, phones are a little bit complicated. Yeah, there are built-in protections. Like Android has Knox built into it. You probably see it whenever you turn on the phone. It says protected by Knox, and that has some security features in it. They do have antivirus and EDR programs like on the app stores. Like for example, I know that like Bitdefender is pretty good for the mobiles. Um, but yeah, the number one thing that we do see whenever it's a phone issue, it originated from one of those spam texts. Yeah, I think that I saw somebody get a text that they said it was like the PA Turnpike or something. They had to click a link to go to this website, and yeah, it had some malicious code in the web page or whatever. So um, but yeah, it's kind of, phones are a little bit more complicated, but it's not as common of a threat, but it can happen.
It's probably growing fast. I mean, one of the big indicators is if your battery suddenly just drains a lot. If you happen to notice your camera light coming on when your phone's just sitting there, just strange interactions. But we are working at trying to find a solution to assess your cell phone. I just don't have any great recommendations at this time.
And Andy, let me just ask you, so you're at a cocktail party and someone says, okay, you're the cyber security guy. What are the 2 or 3 things you tell everyone to do, whether or not they hire you?
Um, in general, definitely they want to have at least some sort of protection like antivirus or EDR is probably a base minimum. Um, the other the other very important thing to consider is I always recommend at least 2 forms of some sort of backup, whether that's just copying it to a flash drive and keeping that in your house in a safe or something every once in a while, or something like Carbonite that automatically copies your hard drive into into the cloud. Um, OneDrive and stuff like that is okay as a backup, but Microsoft doesn't guarantee any backup at all. Um, so that's always something to consider as well. Um, but yeah, definitely antivirus and backups are probably the 2 most important things for any business.
Okay. I think I am gonna stop recording so we can let Loretta ask her question and others ask their questions, because I think we got sort of a good overall picture between those 2 presentations. And